Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're going to be giving you a first look at the new season Belleron 2, Belleron Season 2, that sounds better, / SB2 / for the OGs out there, S2+++, that's 3 pluses. Giving you everything you need to know. This is what we're going to start off with. We're going to talk about map design, we're going to talk about policies, we're going to talk about talents. 4, we'll look at any potential buff changes. 5, we'll look at the heroes to see if we can actually click them instead of having to do that workaround through settings, notifications, or emojis. And then we'll also show you who's going to be on Wheel of Destiny. And if there's anything else that we notice along the way, we'll point it out. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you give us a because it really helps out. Starting with the map. Now, it is pretty clear the only difference here on the actual map is the final zone. I've already taken a look at it, and everything else up until final zone is the same. This is the Belleron Season 1 map that some of you might remember. Let's see if we can get a little nice clicker. Here we go. And you can see here, passes are the same. It's only the interior that has actually changed beyond the passes. So in the B1 map, you could see, or final zone, you could see that there are some lanes and chokes that will basically go over a bridge or through a valley. And then you have kind of like 8 lanes. You have a lane going through each. And then you also have the cross region, or if you want to kind of go from one area to the other, you have the level 4 spires to get there. And then you have the ramps that go here to the plateau of where the Frost Dragon is. It should also be pointed here as an asterisk that this is a modified Dragon Plateau. Their previous iteration actually had a 3rd level that most of us may know because we've played through it already, and then they removed the 3rd level, and now there's just a 2nd level to where you can get in from a couple different ways to the dragon. Now, if we go and we look at the current SB2 final zone, you will clearly see some inherent changes. Once again, passes are the same, but we look past the passes and you have 8 gates that go into 8 spires at 8 major or primary chokes. You also have dedicated level 5 pass openings or opening areas on the edges, meaning that they do not cross between each other. So you can't go from this pass to this pass, you have to go all the way around. Meaning, to me, that I very much like this idea of that you're kind of starting in a more protected level 5 pass opening because you don't have to worry about getting hit from multiple. Now again, let's keep in mind that the Belleron season map is a west versus east side, right? With the only junction point being the statues here at the level 4 passes once you get into zone 3. But there's nothing before that. It'd be cool if they added a statue here. We'll talk about statues in a moment. So for now, you have kind of these dedicated areas. You also have the areas here on these passes, which has a bridge, which is a thinner choke outside of the spire, right? This to me is probably like the 2nd best gate to go through. Like I said, does it really matter if you're one union on one side, on the west side, and then another union on the east side, or vice versa? It doesn't really. And then you have the areas here that connect. So like you have 2 areas in the middle that connect, same here. You have 2 areas in the middle that connect. Well, these are kind of on the sides, but you get my point. You have 2 connecting areas that you can go to on either bridges, and then you have one with the thin choke. This is wider that you can get into on each. And then you look past the spires, and what do you get in the center of the map? You get a little bit more open field, something I'm pretty excited about. And we zoom in, and I'll show you that, where you look at the terrain, and if I just kind of go across, you could see it's pretty open field based. This is nice. I'm not opposed to this. I love the fact that they are trying things, taking some risks, and seeing what will work and what will not work. This is very much, I believe, an improvement from the previous Belleron Season 1 final zone. The only initial, like just curiosity of why is that there that I have is the outside plateaus. Objectively, if everyone's building towards these, sure, will it give you some extra territory? Does it give you some extra area? Okay. But it doesn't serve as any kind of, I argue, strategic value because everyone's going to end up going for the dragon anyways and fighting it out in the open field. It just kind of feels like it's extra space. Sure, you can fight on the ramp, you can fight from the ledge, but for the most part, I really just would have liked to see them combine these two and then keep the bigger open field area on the plateau. That would have been cool. So for me, when I look at like the 1, the 2, the 3, and then the 4 major changes, I like 3 out of 4 of them. Would love to hear what you think. And again, if it works, maybe you keep building on it, either keeping it or fine-tuning it some more. If it doesn't end up working after this season, then you can always make changes. But I like this idea how, you know, it's, okay, look, what we saw with T1, what we saw with the SB1 map, you can clearly tell that they're listening to the community, because this is not a change that tells you, oh yeah, we just, you know, maybe thought of this on our, now maybe they did think of it on their own, right? I'm not trying to make it seem like that, but I do like, what I really should say is I'm hoping that this was a change that was made and influenced or factored into based on comments from the community and feedback. Then let's get to the statues. So statues for me, I have a very straightforward approach to this. I just wish the area was at least 2 times bigger, meaning in its entirety, meaning this lane is twice as wide, this area is twice as big, these lanes are twice as wide, and this lane is twice as wide. Also, I wish, I'd love for them to see them add another statue on the north side and the south side. Have it be something where you can attack all 3 lanes and have more reason and more value to do so. Along with have one opening here from south to the middle and then from north to the middle. I think that would allow a lot more dynamic gameplay. I think we would see a lot more strategic and tactical gameplay as well. And it would just diversify the area. In addition to this, I like to believe 2 other game modes I can think of would be something like a team deathmatch, where you allow for people to come in. So you see how you're able to divide and set these borders where they can't pass? Do the same thing here for that, where you maybe like every rotation you switch up the game mode. That could be dope. And then what you do is you just draw a line down the center that doesn't allow anyone to go past. Or it can just be a line here, and then maybe you close off the gates or something here. That could be something. So no one can go into the middle until the invisible wall's down. And then you give everyone 5 or 10 minutes to load up their as many units as they can from each side. And then it's whoever either gets the most kills or whoever maybe inflicts the most amount of sev wounds. The other approach you can do is a last man standing, where you apply the same thing, but then it's and then you lock the gates, right? So obviously you can only leave if you die, and you make it so who's ever the last unit on the last side that's left standing wins. That could be cool as well. Really think about utilizing this kind of a space more objectively, because this is something I think has a lot of potential. I like the idea as a blueprint, but let's expand on it. Aside from that, this is going to be, I think, very much a West versus East season, because that's what we saw in SB1 or in the first season of Belleron for the majority of KVKs, where they said, we're going to take this side, you guys take that side, we'll fight here at the Runics, but we're going to have our big, you know, pinnacle or firework moment, if you will, in Final Zone. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to the policies. So at the moment, I believe there is just, let's go like here, we'll go back here. There's one policy change that I've seen so far. Let me do this. Let's do this. We'll do that. I'm balling. Which I think is here at the end where it says healthcare, benevolence, healthcare, reprieve, and diligence. Now, hospital is still the same. You got 2 million free, and you got 3 million max RSS healing or resource healing per day. At least to my knowledge, I don't believe that's changed, but I'm sure someone will let me know if that's the case. Let's go ahead and look here at the new column where we have healthcare, benevolence, reprieve, and diligence. Now, these are interesting. So the first one is daily elixir production plus 50,000. Prestige gained plus 10,000, or plus 10%. Okay, now let's compare that with healthcare reprieve, right? I think the production, which obviously goes into the free healing, okay, that's nice. It's not bad. And then we have the daily elixir production, 20,000. Resource healing base cost reduction, which means you're saving costs, which is 25% of the amount. And then we have daily resource healing quantity limit plus 500,000, so that's 2.5 million you get on free healing, or excuse me, 3.5 million for resource, I should say. And on the same thing for the resource healing as well. And then for merits gained, it's plus 10%. Now, part of me feels like between these two, I think I like reprieve a little bit more, not only because you're saving healing costs, but you're able to do 500,000 more per day. Now, the plus 50,000 daily elixir production that you'd be getting, right, if that ends up equating out to 50,000 troops, depending on the amount from what I understand, then you're getting that plus the 10% prestige gained. Again, depending on how you value prestige or merits, with the merits, you're able to kind of buy out, the merit store consistently. So getting a gain in that means you hit those things earlier. You also have a higher percentage chance of being able to clear out the store for anyone that maybe comes up short. So you're kind of thinking at more of like the low to mid-end players as far as their amount of merits gain, where they're now getting a little bit more for what they're putting in. That has to feel good as well. And you're still getting plus 20,000 elixir. I mean, part of me feels like Reprieve is better, at least between the two, but would love to hear from you on what you think. Last one we have is Diligence. So this is hospital care. Oh, and let's click on this because there is some details. Reduces the base cost of resource healing at your hospital, increases daily resource healing at your hospital, and allows you to exceed the daily resource healing limit. Merits gained, you gain 10% more merits through combat with other players. You can gain up to 100,000 merits per week through this skill received this week's here. Well, yeah, we haven't done any fighting. Then we get to Diligence. So the limit at hospital care capacity limit. When you have more severely wounded units in your hospital than your care capacity allows, severely wounded units who exceed the limit will die due to lack of care. Interesting. So this is basically them kind of taking something from Rock, where if you exceed your hospital cap, your units automatically die. The difference here, from what it maybe seems, is that if you exceed the limit with more severely wounded units in your hospital than your care capacity allows, those units will not die immediately. So a slight adjustment from Rock. However, if you remain above the limit, any further severely wounded units will die. So maybe there's a time that has it, or maybe it's like one of those things where like they're getting weaker because like they need more food. And they're, I'm forgetting what it's called exactly in other games, but yeah, this to me is interesting because they're kind of doubling down on cross swords, where I believe you're taking, what is it, 2%? Or am I cray-cray on that? Yeah, okay. Yes, 2% of your severely wounded units will die, and then you're looking at this, where more units will die, but what do you get in exchange for that? Not only will more units die, but your limit is 1.5 million for hospital. Legion March Speed, 3%. I think this is very underrated. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. Resource Healing base cost is 50%, plus 50, so double that. Your daily resource healing now goes from 3 million to 5 million, so you're getting 4 times that of Reprieve. And you get a stamina limit bonus. Hero increases heroes and war pets' maximum stamina by the percentage of their current limits. So not only is it going to allow for you to use heroes and war pets out there in the field longer, but it allows you to get more healing, which ultimately should hopefully result in more fighting that you could potentially have. And you get the March Speed bonus as well. Now, I think if you're going to go Diligence and you're taking more deads, it just basically goes into the same logic of who's going to pick up Cursed Swords, right? Someone like Mephisto, maybe the Lights, maybe your boy Jay Geezy, and others that are up there, right, at possibly like, 150, maybe 200 million plus power, give or take, right? It would be curious. I'd be curious to maybe poll people at like 100 or 150 mil plus and ask them like, hey, would you take this? And if you did, how was your experience with it? Would you take it again? Why didn't you take it initially? And if the answers kind of align, or if maybe they're a little bit different, I'd be curious. But the one thing I really like here outside of the stamina limit bonus, and I think is probably one of the best things, is the Legion March Speed. And I say that because of this. If you have units that are the same March Speed, which again, once you get to the top tier, or if you have a near maxed account, you're probably operating at the exact same March Speed per units, or maybe some slight variations per type. But if you are in situations where you have the same March Speed, having increased March Speed allows for you to do a number of things, and probably some of the most important things when you're out in the field fighting, which is, number one, it allows for you to choose when you disengage and when you engage. This leads into number two, which is that you can disengage if you feel like you're getting pushed, and because you're moving faster than the other units, you can escape taking unnecessary DPS. That is a huge win. Number three, you can choose when you engage, meaning that if units are running away from you, you will catch up to them versus maybe not being able to catch up to them if you have the same speed, therefore being able to deal more damage and incurring more self wounds on the other side. this cannot be understated, in my opinion, how big of a change this could potentially be and how it feels to me already on paper. I'd be curious to see if other people have a similar view or a different one. Let me know. Okay. Next one we're going to go into after now we have done policies. We're going to go to talents. So the only changes I saw for talents here was actually in the quests. The talents are the same from what I initially saw. And the main different ones here are specifically the the advanced and super talents. And I'm going to show that to you. Oh, hang on. I think I have to go back to 119 for that. But in short, they basically just switched there's actually something else in season talents I'm going to show in a sec. They just switched when these unlock. That's all they did. So the advanced talents now is the time is now, and super talents is Land of Ice and Snow. Land of Ice and Snow used to be the advanced talent unlock for SB1. It's now the super talent unlock for SB2. And then if we get to, I'll show you this right now for advanced. Advanced was super talent back then was Outbreak of War. Now super talent is Land of Ice and Snow, right? So that was a change. Then season talents, another little quality of life thing that has changed is once you get to tier 2, it tells you the Augerstone stage that this unlocks in. Before, it wouldn't do that. And I'm going to show that to you here in the T1 season. So here it is, right? It says activate prerequisite talent first, but it doesn't tell it to you. So it's a very small, but I like it. I think it's a very nice quality of life change. Then let's get into buffs. So I don't think there's any different buffs here, but we'll just kind of go through those for everyone's sake, or sanity, if you will. We have Seasoned City Shield. We have Great Revival, New Kid in Town, Ceasefire, Alliance Member Limit, still plus 80, and the timers are about the same. City Shield says about 2 days, Great Revival about 7, 3 days for New Kid, Ceasefire 2 days, and we're there. And then we end up getting to heroes. So I'm just going to show the heroes off. I kind of already touched on them a little bit when I did that interview with Sneaky. But we'll look at, I'm just going to call her Margaret. You're Margaret from now on. So first skill, Peach's Dream, normal attack damage, bonus healing rate. Then they end up getting their attack bonus for second skill, Truth Teller. Third skill, all marksman, normal attack, damage bonus, HP bonus. Fourth skill is healing factor, so kind of 2 healing opportunities there, attack bonus. And then fifth skill is awakening of Peach's Dream, which takes the healing, what is this, from 5, here it is. So we have normal damage, attack 5% is the same, 5 times. And their next normal attack deals 450% more damage, but this is 500%, so plus 50% more damage on that one. Then we get to Zeta, probably just call her Zendaya, might be easier. Then we get to first skill is normal attack, damage bonus, march speed. Also, the fact that this is passive, I think, has the potential to do more damage than if it was active, in my opinion. Second skill, damage dealt bonus, healing received bonus as well, up to 10 to 20%. Third skill, physical attack bonus, march speed bonus, 30%, 10% max. Fourth skill, crit, attack crit bonus, as I'm trying to catch words here, up to 25%. And final skill is a passive. Legion gains 3 stacks of Dawnwater Mark upon entering battle. Right, each stack of Dawnwater Mark increases normal attack damage dealt by 4%, and march speed, right, which eventually increases that a little bit more. And I think there's a max. Yeah, it is 10 stacks. So I think when I was doing the interview with Stinky, he was mentioning like maybe Zeta and like Syndrian because of the, where is it? I have to remember what skill. I think it's the one that allows for you to hit multiple legions. Genki, here it is. The launching additional attack. That's what it was. So the fact that his active launches additional attack, marksman, you're kind of doubling down on that. I forget if he has, it's the defense pen. See, I thought he had crit, but it's actually the defense pen that he has. So you're kind of combining the crit with the defense pen, additional attack bonuses. I think he was saying like that's something that would be interesting to test. We'll see. What comps end up kind of prevailing once we start seeing them being used. Last one we'll touch on is going to be Wheel of Destiny. Wheel of Destiny, Zeta, so it's the last 4 heroes to release. Zendaya, Margaret, Bert, and my buddy Toto. That's what we're going to call him from now on. And like Toto, but Toto. I guess I could just say Toto from Wizard of Oz. That actually sounds better. We're going to call you Toto. And then what you get. We'll show you this as well. I'm sure these are probably the same, but I'll just show this off for sake of anyone who's curious on those, and then we'll show you that. And I think that pretty much ties out. Augerstone. I'm going to show you Augerstone as well. because I just know people like to see it. So Alliance Power Rankings, Unbroken, Golden Dreams. We got Bear, Standard Season Talents, End of Indecision, Level 8 Darkling. We get to the Time Is Now, Level 1 Pass, Basic Merit Store, Advanced Season Talents, Star of Hope, Runic Statue Zone, or Runic Statue, Village Occupation Limit +5, War in the Wilderness is Frost Giant, Land of Ice and Snow, Level 9 Darkling Fort, Super Season Talent, Moment of Truth. We get Level 2 Pass, Personal Glory Point Rankings, Heroic Ascension, Chest of Desire is Village Occupation Limit again. Twilight is Thunder Rock. Great Deeds is, well, nothing. Swords into Plowshares. We have level 10 Darkling Fort. Silent Calibration is level 3 Pass. Village Occupation Limit. Heroic Struggle. Motherland's Call. We have Standard Merit Store. Apparently we have a second version of Swords into Plowshares. Hydra Conspiracy is level 4 Pass. War and Peace is Supreme Ancestor Statue will open up here. Ember of Hope is Necro. Salvation is, I think it's level 11. Then we get Unparalleled Bravery. This is level 5 Pass. Village Occupation Limit increase again. Peaks and Valleys is Premium Merit Store. The Art of War. Frost Dragon, and then Strongest Pet. Winter's King, level 12 Darkling Fort. Hearts Towards Dawn is Necro, and Unscarred is Cross Region Alliance as per usual. Status, just kind of show you where some of the bears and some of the units are for those that are not here yet, or I should say behemoths specifically. And then Frost, we'll show you season overview. This is interesting because there's 8 here, and there was 6, I think, in the T1 season, from what I remember correctly. I'll have to go back and double check that. Season features, they do talk about new talents, new policies, and then season rewards. Not sure if anything has changed, but I'll show this to you. So we got member. This is for officer. And then we have leader. We'll go up there. We'll show you the limited and common options here, because again, I know people like to take a look at these. So do endearing, and then we'll do common to show that to you. And then just kind of going there. I don't think there's anything. Oh, okay. I guess I'll show this. I don't know if there's anything different here. I think we can probably show you off each one for that. And then, oh, I guess there are some different. Oh, maybe there are. Maybe there's not. Oh, I see. Maybe it's the same probability table. Huh. Okay, sure, why not? With that in mind, I think that covers everything right now. I'm actually in the TFS group too as well, so it's nice that I don't have to like look somewhere else. I can just kind of look and pay attention and chat and, you know, type with my main. So we'll see how that goes. With that in mind, if we missed anything, please do feel free to let us know, and we'll try and cover that in a future video. Hopefully you enjoyed this first look overview, giving you the major deets and talking about what I think are some very interesting final zone changes here in SB2. Let me know anything and everything you're thinking in the comments down below. That is going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.